Hello everyone, this is day 22, question 2 of our lead code activity. Number of recent calls. We have a recent counter class which counts the number of recent requests within a certain time frame. Implement the recent counter class. So, recent counter. This method initializes the counter with zero recent requests. Okay, so this is just building the object we need. Then this is the main method. This is the only method that we need to actually implement. What is the method? Int ping. It will take a integer t, adds a new request at time t, where t represents some time in milliseconds, okay, and returns the number of requests that has happened in past 30 milliseconds, 3000 milliseconds, sorry, including the new request. Specifically, return the number of requests that have happened in inclusive range t minus 3000 to t. It is guaranteed that every call to ping uses a strictly larger value of t than the previous call. Okay, so the time always gets on increasing, which is the correct logic, of course. So let us understand this first using example. So here is the example. First of all, this recent counter and empty, this will just initialize our container our topic. Okay, now this ping 1. So what this will do, it will first of all add 1. Now the range is set from t minus 3000 to t. So 1 minus 3000 to 1. So minus 2999 to 1. So in this time frame, how many requests have been made? Just one request, that is on the first second, 1 second, this request was made, so we return 1. Now we do ping 100. Now 100, so now 100 is added. The range is minus 2900 to 100. So from minus 2900 to 100, how many requests were there? First request was made on second one, and then it was made on 100. Because see here it is said we have to use the inclusive range, that is including the new request too. So 1 will be counted and also 100 will be counted. We return 2. Now we go to 3001. So range becomes 1 to 3001. So 100 3001 we return 3. Now 3002. The our values were 100, 3001, 3002. Range become 2 to 3002. So 1 doesn't come in this range. 1 does not lie between 2 to 3002 inclusive. So we'll just count 100, 3001, 3002, and these are three values, so we return 3. So now tell me, will we ever require this one again? We'll never require this one again. Why? We'll never require this one again because the numbers will keep on get increasing. That is, it is guaranteed that every call to ping uses strictly larger value of t than the previous call. So if every next number will be compulsorily be greater than 3002, so surely the range will always be ahead of 2, because 3002 minus 3000 is 2. So 1 will never be included in any range further from this. So what we can do is simply remove this 1 and we don't care about it. Are you getting my point? So you can see that If we remove one, so whatever remains in the our container are all the valid range. So like right now, let us wait. Let me take this example to make it more clarifying. So here this was. Now let me say I added something 2005. No, I added 600. So now tell me how many fall in the range? One, two, three. 100 also doesn't fall in the range now. Why? 3600 minus 3000 is 600. So the range will be 600 to 3600. So 100 also doesn't fall in this range. Answer will be 300, 3001, 3002, 3600. So we'll return 3. So for a minute, forget this. We were here. So when we added 3002, one had no job, and further from this, one will have no job. So we just simply remove one. So our answer was 3. So whatever remain now is remaining here in this container. So the size of the container is our answer. Now let me add it again. So now 100 becomes useless. We simply remove 100. Again you can see whatever is the size of the container, that is simply the answer. So from this logic, try to reason that whatever was added first, we are removing it first. That is first in, first out, which is a queue. So the queue is the most easiest approach to solve this question. Not the most easiest, but the most obvious and most straightforward way to solve this question. That is implement this queue. So we declare a queue. What we'll do whenever we hear we get this ping, we'll first of all push it to the queue, and while p dot front is less than t minus 3000, we'll just simply pop it. So now that all the values which are not in the range are removed, are popped, we'll just simply return the size, because all the elements in the container follow our range. They reside within the range which is defined. And whenever a new is added, we'll simply check the front. If it follows, we'll keep it. If it doesn't follow, we'll pop it. So if you take this example 100, 3000, 3002, so what we'll do, we'll first add 1, ping 1, so we have pushed 1. So now if p dot front is less than t minus 3000, so now right now 1, so only 1 is there. So t minus 3000, this will be simply become minus 29921. So 1 is in the range, so we will keep it, will return the size, that is 1. Again when we add 100, now also all are in the range, we will simply return 2. Now 3001, still all are in the range, we will simply return 3. But now when we add 3002, 1 becomes out of range, we will simply pop it and return the size, that is 3. So now again anything added in the front, it will never need 1, because it will always be out of range as the numbers keep on increasing. So this was the logic, the approach. And how do we think of approach, or which data structure to use to solve this question? Thank you.